Anyway, last story of the day, right? Let's talk about it. We're going to talk DeSantis again. But instead, this time, we're going to talk about something that I actually think he's doing right.
Oh, God. You know what? A broken clock is right twice a day. Okay?
Yeah, I like it. All right. So, well, I can at least be fair and praise.
Gotta be fair.
Right?
I guess. You got to show the whole story.
Yeah, right. I don't want to just sit here and bash the guy and say he's done nothing good, especially if we're talking about kids. Right? Okay. So, basically, Ron DeSantis is calling for an end to the FSA standardized test. Now, if you're familiar with Florida, the FSA has been the bane of your or your child's existence for about the last decade, I think. Longer. Yeah, every year, children are basically pulled out of their classes to study specifically, not necessarily pulled out of classes, but pulled away from the curriculum to basically study just to pass a test. And these tests, based on the results, decide how these schools are funded. And how these people are, how the wages are cut for these teachers, and so much more. So the schools and the teachers ultimately find themselves under incredible pressure to just teach the kids to pass the test, right? So I think over the course of a month on average, your child is pulled away from really any real learning and being taught to pass a test.
Right.
Okay, and Ron DeSantis is finally doing away with that. I'm a big fan of this decision because this has caused beyond just an unreasonable amount of pressure, anxiety, and stress on kids and parents. It's just not an accurate way of testing, intelligence or anymore. Okay, yeah. So roll this video here. Just see him
this coming legislative session, we will be crafting legislation in the state of Florida to end the FSA in our schools.
Right there, he's speaking at Doral Academy. It's a preparatory school.
2021-22 school year will be the final year that the FSA is administered in the state of Florida. Now, we need to measure results, and we will continue to do it. We will continue to set high standards, but we also have to recognize that it is the year 2021, and the FSA is, quite frankly, outdated. It takes days to administer, leaving less time for student learning. It is not customizable to each student, which we do have the capability now with algorithms to do. It fails to provide timely information to parents, which, as we know, is very critical that information be provided for them. And it's also too late for the modification of instruction. You take a major test at the end of the year, you get the results after the school year, so you can't go back and fix that. So we are going to be ending that. And we are going to be replacing it with progress monitoring, which many school districts are doing anyways. This is short, individualized check-in assessments 3 times per year. This will take hours, not days, to be able to do these assessments. It has 3 different opportunities, fall, winter, and spring, to be able to check in on growth. There'll be 75% less time for testing, which will mean more time for learning. It also informs teachers in real time during the school year so that they can better help students. These progress monitoring tools will be customizable and will even be unique to each student. It gives the ability to have timely data during the school year so you can make the necessary corrections.
All right, there you have it. Ron DeSantis explaining, basically why he's doing FSA. So he says, quote, "We believe that having results monitored and measured is very, very important, but we also think that the FSA is outmoded. And at this point, we need to move forward with a more, I'd say, nimble and effective approach," he said. So right now they're crafting legislation that is going to basically do away with FSA by 2023. And I mean, I've said it before, the education system has not kept up with technology. It's like the last refuge, I mean, I don't know about you, but I had computers in my class. I mean, we had maybe one classroom where all the kids had to go there for computers, but we had computers in my school when I was freaking like
30
5.
years ago. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not impressed with everybody having a laptop at their desk. You know what I mean? Sending my kid home with a cheap ass Chromebook doesn't freaking impress me. They don't even have Word on the damn thing, so they can't even put their,
Do their
you know what I mean?
homework, right.
So they're really behind. Technology, kids are different. Generations change. Kids are different today than we were. Okay, they are ADD as hell. They need fidget. They need to be stimulated far more. They've had screens in their face, digital images in their face since childhood, since birth.
They need a tate quieto.
They need stimulation. And the problem is just sitting them in a damn cold classroom in front of a fucking textbook just don't cut it anymore. We need to bring the education, the way we teach, up to date with our technology and this generation.
Testing didn't work 30 years ago either. I mean, I bet you there were studies back then that just there are people who learn differently and take tests differently. And to say that a person is not as good because of their ADD or there's just their test taking. I have terrible memory. Doesn't mean that I'm not smart or I don't like what I'm learning. You understand? So if I'm bad at memory, I'm probably gonna do bad on a test. So it's just a very small microcosm of some of the reasons why testing is not a really good way of measuring intelligence or learning.
Sure.
See, when I was growing up, we had the tests in New York, but it was different because here these tests determine whether you pass or fail and all this other crap. Our test when we were growing up was basically once a year, everybody had to take these tests. But you didn't stop learning what you were learning to prepare for a test.
Yeah, like you were taking a test on what you learned.
The point of the test was to pick up where you were so that the next year, when you moved on to the next year, they put all the kids that were on the same level together in the class together so that they're learning at a pace that works for them so that the kids that learn at a faster pace aren't being held back by the kids that learn at a slower pace and vice versa. But it didn't determine pass or fail or anything like that. It determined, where you are so that they could put you with kids that are on the same level so that everyone can learn effectively.
It sounds good. And that was, 30, 40 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. But for some reason, we thought the FSA was a big deal. I think that might have been put in by Rick Scott, another scumbag politician for you. You already know how I feel about that piece of shit. Anyway, test results from 2021 FSA end-of-course exams dropped significantly during COVID. Of course they did. My kids suffered. Going from the classroom to digital learning, his grades significantly suffered, and it was a very stressful time for all of us. He was frustrated. We were frustrated. The communication from the teachers was inadequate. I mean, we were not prepared for this, and the kids were still held accountable, even though the teachers and nobody else were. Anytime you said anything, well, sir, we're dealing with an epidemic. Well, you're not saying that when my damn kid is struggling to get the shit done. So anyway, all of the end of course exams dropped significantly during the pandemic in math, science, and social studies from 2 years ago. So the new form of short test proposed by the governor would monitor progress 3 times a year to give schools the opportunities to assess and improve. So, before it was 30 days and it was an entire month between April and May. They spent testing English, language, arts, math, and science. And they did this, for 10 years. And so they said that the monitoring promises less than 75. So you see here what this whole FAST approach is what they call it. It says it eradicates Common Core form from our classrooms, builds up Florida school accountability by meeting the needs of, and what does that say? Empowering educators, parents, and students. So I don't know what the hell that's supposed to mean, but it focuses on real-time results.
Yeah. So I like the spirit. I love the spirit of it all. As I get older, and I hope this is the beginning. As I get older, and I hear Michael Pereira said it too, kids need to be taught real life skills, right? Like credit scores and savings and stocks and all that stuff. Maybe this is the beginning of getting away from the books per se and becoming more.
I learned how to cook. I learned how to cook and sew in middle school.
Who cooks and sews in school?
I can sew you a pillow and cook you a damn egg omelet like nobody's business.
Cooking. I would have loved learning how to cook.
I learned how to make a teddy bear.
Yeah, look, that was like the 8th grade.
Come on, exactly. Why did we go away? Why did we go away from that?
Funding, right? They wanted to put more money in private schools and in charter schools.
They didn't stop that shit.
Than in public schools. So like I said, pay attention to your backyard. These are people that we allow to take office and screw our kids over. Ultimately, their education. If your kid is dumb, then this probably the reason why.
You too.
I'm sorry. You need to be listening.
You
need to be
real,
voting because you got a dumbass kid. Anyway, most kids are dumb at teenage. You know, I tell my kid all the time.
They're knuckleheads.
Yeah.
I just
Anyway,
want to smack them upside the head.
But yeah, you know, the best thing about this, okay, it's such an opposite from standardized tests. Standardized tests, right, allows, you know, inaccurate testing to speak for everybody. This actually allows individualized kind of testing, right? We can, as you see right there, so the new processing, right, all these benefits there. I mean, 75% less testing time, only 3 times a year, short testing, individualized, you know.
That's what I like. You said kids are everywhere now. They need to be focused on individually, right? Nobody's the same. Nobody's you can't test them the same. So if this is true and they're able to specifically test a kid for something they specifically learn, need, whatever, I am down with that 100%. Like how can you not? That kid's going to get better because of it.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to be able to measure progress.
Absolutely, you have to.
accurately.
But
Some kids are smarter than others. Some kids grasp information better than others.
Some kids just learn differently.
Learn different, man.
Just,
Tactile.
you know what I mean?
Some people need to just be outside and learn it.
That's me. I need to do something.
Yeah.
I am not a book, you know, let me read the instructions and then do this. I need to touch it. I need to, you know, get my hands on it. And I promise you, if I can take it apart, I'll put that shit back together.
And you will remember it forever.
Absolutely.
You will remember forever.
It's like when you go to a job, right? When you start a new job, nowadays they don't train you how to do shit. They sit you in front of a computer that tells you what to do.
No, it's terrible.
That don't work for me. Like I gotta do it.
They're training robots is what I feel like they're doing. They're just training people to sit in front of computers, and we're going backwards, de-evolutionizing ourselves, right?
Devolving. We were talking about it,
Like we were like, is the human condition ever going to evolve? No, we're going to get dumber, fatter,
because
lazier.
Of technology and AI and everything is doing it for us.
I hope, and I always take a shot at DeSantis. This is still in planning mode. So, you know, until it's real, I don't want to hear it, DeSantis.
2022, 23. So you got 2 years to show us something.
Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. But I like it. I like the spirit.
Maybe that's why he's taking the money. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to. That doesn't even make any sense. I'm trying to figure out why the hell this guy.
It's just, this guy's a pure politician, man. Yeah. He loves to do this stuff. Love him, hate him. He's a politician through and through.
Well, we all know that rich kids are no smarter than poor kids, right? Look at the scandal that we spoke about on the show last year about all the damn celebrities and the rich folks getting caught up in the college bribing scandal.
Yeah, remember that?
So these kids were no smarter, no more talented than any regular poor kid.
They had to cheat their way in.
Exactly. So maybe if you dumb it down for everybody.
I'm just saying, Big Ace before the show said Finland or something, some country basically, you know, said all kids together, no private schools or something to that effect, and it changed everything for them.
There's a country. I forgot what I was talking about.
I forgot, but take a look. Google that shit.
The poor kids have to go to school with the rich kids, and everybody has to eat, learn together. Yep.
Exactly, and go look at the outcome of that. Google yourself, and you'll see.
And that's why I'm out on all these, you know, voucher programs and private schools. Like, we should not be taking money from public school to put into private school.
Never.
And the argument is always, well, private schools give you a better education. Well,
yeah, but people pay for that.
Well, but if we put the money,
the students' parents pay for that because they can. They don't need more funding.
But if we put the money into public schools and adequately fund them,
they get the same.
Then they will get adequate education
it's backwards
on par.
The way the teachers.
If we pay the teachers and all these things.
Pay the teachers. Pay the teachers.
The other people.
Pay the teachers. Like,
at the end of the day,
common sense,
there you go. Yeah. Pay your teachers. Teach 100%. Your freaking kids. Feed the damn kids.
Feed the kids. Feed my babies.
Feed these damn kids.
Feed the kids.
Feed the babies.
This guy's daughter's going to be affected for the next few years.
14 years.
Forever. Yeah, while my kid's getting up out of the damn school year. Thank God. What's up, everybody? It's your boys Frank the Tank and JB Perez from the Podheads web show. Here to remind you to hit that like and subscribe button. Also, hit the alerts button if you want to find out every time we drop some new fire.
Yeah, that's right. And we're dropping new videos every day at 4:20. So if you like what you saw, click here or here for more content from the Podheads.